my mother declared. Son, Hawaii is off. We're facing dire fiscal issues just now. I trusted her, until my Instagram feed revealed they had flown there with my brother. 1 month later, she appeared to me and requested $200,000. I presented her an item and stated, "Take this object instead." She gazed at it and instantly collapsed. Can you imagine being told your family can't afford a vacation, only to then scroll Instagram and see them living it up in Hawaii, without you? That's exactly what happened to me. And it was the moment I realized I wasn't just the fix-it guy anymore. I was their personal ATM, and they'd been draining me for years. My name's Christopher, I'm 31. I'm an electrical engineer, the guy who knows exactly which breaker does what, and why your microwave trips when you turn on the space heater. Yeah, I like order. I crave it, actually. My apartment above the nail salon? My pantry is wired like a power panel. Oats top left, coffee center, rice bottom. Order just calms me. At home, I'm the fixer. If something breaks, I get a text with a photo and a "can you swing by?" My toolbox? It's practically a seat-belted passenger in my trunk. Mom calls me steady. Dad, practical. My younger brother, Liam, who's 26. He calls me Captain. It started as a joke, but it stuck, in all the ways that just kind of chipped away at me. We grew up with chaos, really. Dad worked union until his knee gave out. Mom? She ran the house like a pop-up shop, always a new magic fix just around the corner. Liam, he had a smile that bought him endless second chances. Me? I had a checklist. That was our balance. Liam tried, I prepared, Mom believed, Dad worried. I'd carve the turkey. Liam would tell stories. I'd finish homework. He'd promised to start tomorrow. I'm not a dramatic guy. I don't do speeches. I do chords wrapped neatly, budgets named Emergency A and Emergency B. I do lunches you can eat with one hand while holding a meter in the other. That's my speed. Quiet. Reliable. No sparks. Then, 2 months ago, my mom called. 9:42 p.m. I remember it vividly because I was at my desk, meticulously cleaning my soldering iron tips. Her voice came through so bright, like someone flipped a switch on a dim room. Christopher! We're going to Hawaii in October! A real vacation, family time! We deserve it! She was so excited. Then she dropped the bombshell. I checked your PTO. You've got days! My PTO? You checked my PTO? I asked, utterly bewildered. You told me your login when we did that tax thing. She chirked, like it was the same as an invitation. Don't overthink it. Just say yes. And I did. Not because I'm a beach guy, but because she sounded genuinely excited about something that included me. I put in the request. I even bought swim trunks, silly ones with little blue sailboats, because they were mismarked at an outlet, $19.99. I bagged them up, labeled it vacation, and slid it into my closet, like I was storing a promise. 2 weeks before we were supposed to leave, she called again. I was on a sight walk, helmet on, wind whipping into my mic. Son, she said, that tone she reserves for broken appliances and bad news. Hawaii is cancelled. We're having financial problems right now. My stomach dropped. What kind of problems? I asked. Adult problems, she said, that dismissive way people talk when the details are too dangerous to share. We'll reschedule. Don't worry, we'll handle it. I offered to come over, look at the numbers. It was our old dance, she'd panic, I'd spreadsheet. No, just be flexible, she said. Okay, I replied. Because okay is the word you say to buy peace. I worked through my planned PTO. I told my crew I'd take a Saturday. I tried hard not to think about that bag in my closet, labeled vacation, like it was some permanent marker mistake on my life. Then came day 3 of my non-vacation. On my lunch break, I opened Instagram, just to kill 5 minutes. And there it was. First story, right at the top, Mom waving, boomerang palm tree emojis x5. Next story, Dad, sunburned, beaming, holding a drink with a purple umbrella. Next, Liam, on a balcony, captioning it Aloha, with 2 mini A's and some good vibes song playing. Different angles. Same hotel. I stared at my phone until my fries went cold. The engineer part of my brain had this dumb, almost clinical thought. Oh. The circuit wasn't broken. I just wasn't connected to it. But then the human part of me, that felt a small, mean heat rising in my throat. I locked my phone, put it face down, and went back to work. I didn't text. I didn't call. I just told myself, there must be context. I said that word context like a prayer. Like it could magically pay a bill. 2 days later, I brought a pot of chili to their place. I'd made too much, I said. Mom took it, and her first words were, you shouldn't have. We're watching our spending. Just then, Liam walked in, a tub of pineapple in hand, tan lines stark against his shirt. He grinned. Snapped his fingers like we were in some bad sitcom. Captain? You missed paradise, he crowed. Mom's eyes shot to him. Liam, what? He caught on. Oh. He saw the stories. I looked down at the countertop, where a small puddle of pineapple juice was slowly creeping towards the edge. I watched it drip. Then I wiped it up with a paper towel. Nobody said thank you. I didn't bring up Hawaii. I just asked about Dad's knee. He said it felt surprisingly good in the water. Nice, I said. It sounded like someone else's voice. When I went home, I threw the empty chili container in my sink and left it there. On purpose. A small protest that only I would ever see. I stayed quiet for a month. Then, she knocked on my apartment door, a thick folder clutched in her hand, a smile stretched too thin. Christopher, she chirped. We need $200,000. I didn't invite her in. I just stood there, looking at that folder, then at her hands. Blue pen marks like little grocery lists dotted her palm. I stepped into the hall. I didn't raise my voice. I didn't make a speech. I just knew, with absolute certainty, what I was going to hand her instead. This part, what I did next? It's all numbers. Because that's how I've survived. Numbers don't gaslight you. They just sit there. They add up, whether you believe them or not. 17. Liam lost a textbook. $98. He'll pay you back, Mom said. He didn't. 18. Dad's truck needed a new battery before a double shift. I bought it. 172. You saved the day, he said. I'll hit you back Friday. He didn't. 19. Mom's crown wasn't covered. 430 on my card. We'll Venmo, she said. They didn't. 20. Liam's phone overages. 280. He needs it for job hunting, Mom insisted. He was, between opportunities, in a way that looked suspiciously like sleeping until noon. 21. I did their taxes, found penalties, set a plan, even covered the first month to get it started. 1050. This is why you're the responsible one, Mom said. Which, I realized, is just family code for open your wallet. All those little just for nows became their own massive bill. Not just money, but time. And emotional heat. The tiny humiliations of being the reliable background. The family joke, Bank of Chris, always landed with a smile, never with a deposit. Boundaries only exist if you enforce them. I had policies I didn't post. Hawaii wasn't the first lie. It was just the most photogenic. After the palm trees, something in me tilted. Mom texted a picture of the ocean. Gratitude. Dad posted a steak. Healing. Liam tagged the hotel. Hashtag work hard, play hard. I muted all three. I told myself there'd be a rational explanation. There wasn't. There never is. There's just spin, and the hope you're dizzy enough to accept it. A week after their trip, Liam showed up at my door with a box of donuts and that familiar grin. Captain, he said. Small bridge. How small? I asked. Like 500,000. He chirped. I actually laughed. It wasn't a nice laugh. He winced. Not for me, he said quickly. For Mom and Dad. Interest fees, you know, the kind of problems that cancel vacations. I stared at him. The kind of problems that cancel vacations? I echoed. He looked down the hallway. Mom said not to mention that. Liam, I said, my voice steady. I own a phone. I push the button that opens the world. Don't be dramatic. He scoffed. You know you'll help. No, I said. He blinked, like I just mispronounced English. You always help. I used to, I told him, because I thought help meant love. He left the donuts on my doormat and walked away. By morning, the sugar had bled through the box. I threw it out. Then came Mom. Again. With a folder. She even wore her bank earrings, those small hoops that meant she was serious. She sat on my couch, smoothed her skirt, and talked fast. We're refinancing. The bank's being ridiculous. Your name would calm them. And there's the arrears, the penalties. We need $200,000. We'll pay you back. We'll write it down if that makes you feel better. You're asking me to liquidate my future, I said. Calmly. Evenly. No, she countered, smiling like a realtor. We're asking you to invest in your family. The family that went to Hawaii while telling me there were financial problems? My voice stayed level. The whole room felt like a test. She flinched, but recovered. We needed rest. Your father's knee looked great in the ocean. Still no heat in my voice. Just facts. Like reading a meter. Give me a day, I said finally. She hugged me, a hug that felt like she'd already won. That night, I opened my spreadsheet. I did what I'd been afraid to do. I printed everything. Transfers, bills, bridges, time. I rounded down so I wouldn't look petty. I added mileage. I added all the PTO hours I'd burned. The water heater I'd negotiated down. I added a new line, debt whose name is love. The total, it knocked the breath out of me. $198,940. And that didn't even count the part of me that had learned to say okay before I felt it in my throat. I typed a header, family account, Christopher to parents plus Liam. Balance due $0. Status closed. Then I wrote a one-page letter. Simple words. Straight lines. It said, I will not lend, co-sign, guarantee, or open accounts for you. I will remove you as authorized users. Any attempt to open credit in my name will be handled by law, not family meetings. This isn't about revenge. This is about closure. I love you. And then, in bold, the answer is no. I put the ledger in one envelope, the letter in another. Labeled them big, so no one could pretend confusion. I slept badly. In the morning, I made coffee in my quiet kitchen and waited for the knock I knew would come. She was 3 minutes late, in that on-purpose way she thinks looks casual. Lipstick matching her serious demeanor. Folder tucked under her arm like a prop. Did you think about it? She said, already stepping inside. I did, I replied. I handed her the first envelope. Take this instead. She frowned. Instead of the 200? Instead of thinking my wallet is the plan. She opened it. Read the header out loud, the way she reads bills she plans to argue with. Family account, it's the last one, I said. She skimmed. Textbook, battery, crown, heater. Her voice sped up. You're keeping score. You kept promising payback, I said. This is the score you promised. No one keeps score in a family, Christopher. Then stop asking me to play bank, I said, still calm. We can be family without loans. Her jaw moved. Your father will talk sense into you. Good, I said. Let's all talk. We drove to their house. The living room smelled like lemon cleaner. Dad sat in his recliner, ice on his knee, the TV muted. Liam leaned on the counter, scrolling. What's this? Dad asked, seeing the envelope. My answer, I said. And a record. He read. His eyebrows did math. At the total, his mouth tightened. That's not fair. It's not a feeling, I said. It's a sum. Liam laughed too loud. Captain brought receipts. Mom crossed her arms. We asked you to help save our home, not to rub our noses in every little thing you ever did. I'm saying no, I said. Not punishing. Choosing. Liam slid closer. You're really going to let Mom and Dad lose the house because you're salty about a beach pick? This isn't about revenge, I said softly, the words arriving like a tool I finally remembered I owned. It's about closure. Dad scoffed. Closure? Like it's some bad joke? Therapy talk? Yes, I said. And policy. I'm not a bank. Mom held out her hand. What's in the other envelope? My boundary, I said, and gave it to her. She read. Will not lend. Remove authorized users. Legal options. Her face changed like the weather. We would never open anything in your name. 3 years ago, I said, still steady. The store card was in my name. That was an accident, she snapped. It paid for Christmas, I said. I closed it and told myself it didn't mean what it meant. Liam shifted uncomfortably. Mom said, Stop! Dad said low and sharp. For a beat, it was so quiet I could hear the fridge hum. Mom's hands trembled. She pressed her fingers to her temple like the paper was just too loud. You're doing this to hurt me, she whispered. I'm doing this to stop hurting myself, I said. No more co-signing. No more just until. No more Instagram Island during financial problems. Dad pointed at the door. You walk out after this, don't come back. I'm not walking out, I said. I'm standing up. Liam rolled his eyes. Captain Mutiny. Liam! Mom warned, but the room was already leaning. Just say yes, he told me. You always say yes. Mom inhaled, like she was going underwater. Her lipstick suddenly looked too bright on a face that had gone pale. Christopher, please. You have the money. I have a future, I said. I'm keeping it. She looked down at the letter again, her lips moving around the line, no contact for financial matters, like she was sounding out a foreign word. Then her knees gave out. Not a swoon, not theater, just a body that forgot how to stand for a second. Her eyes went blank. She folded. Mom! Liam grabbed for her shoulder. Feet up! I said, without even thinking, catching her, easing her onto the sofa, lifting her ankles onto the ottoman. Old first aid training. My hands worked while my heart pounded. Dad swore. What did you do? I handed him the paper. She's breathing. Give her a minute. She came back. Slowly, blinking at the ceiling, then at me, then at the letter. Christopher, she whispered, as if I'd become someone new. I'm here, I said. I'm not yelling. I'm not leaving. I'm saying no. She sat up, touched her hair, smoothed the envelope like it might change its mind. You'll regret this. No, I said. I regret everything that got us here. I won't regret the door closing on it. I didn't slam the door when I left. I stacked the cushions, washed the glass, put it upside down on the rack, old habit, and drove home. By the time I climbed my stairs, missed calls were blooming on my screen. By midnight, I had 31. Dad left 3 voicemails, one angry. You broke your mother! One bargaining. We can do a smaller amount. Just sign the refinance. One tired. Your mother is resting. You always were the sensible one. Be sensible. I listened to all of them once, then again, just to be sure I wasn't missing a sentence that could make it simple. There wasn't one. Liam texted a stream. Bro, come on. We can split it. Okay. 150. Okay, just co-sign. You're embarrassing yourself. Captain turned corporate. I put my phone face down and watched the salon below close. Gate down, neon off. The building settling into that night quiet. Day 2. My aunt called. Your mother fainted, she said, immediately accusing. I was there, I replied. She says you threatened legal action. I said I would protect my credit, I corrected. That's not a threat. That's a rule. Christopher, she sighed, pulling the word like taffy. This family helps. I did, I said. For 14 years. She started to say, blood is thicker, and I ended the call. Clichés were alarms now. Day 3. Mom texted a paragraph. I didn't lie, it began. Hawaii was for your father's health. You don't understand what it's like to be a mother. Liam is under pressure. You are good with money. We need you. Be the bigger person. I typed and erased 4 replies. Finally, I sent 12 words. I love you. I'm not available for financial support. She replied with a photo of me at 6, holding a plastic shovel. Under it, you used to be sweet. I stared at the screen until my chest hurt. Then I put the phone down and cried. That small, private sound you make when you stub a toe in the dark. I set a timer for 6 minutes. When it beeped, I washed my face. Practical things helped. I removed my parents as authorized users on my cards. I froze my credit with all the bureaus. I set fraud alerts. Changed every password. Moved my email recovery off my mother's number because years ago, she'd helped me set it up. I called HR and asked if anyone besides me could see my PTO. Your emergency contact has access to certain pages, the rep said. Do you want to update? I did. I put down my friend Logan instead. Then it got uglier. A new credit inquiry popped up. A bank I don't use. My stomach dropped like a bad elevator. I called. We have a mortgage application under your name, the rep said cheerfully. Co-applicant, Liam. I didn't apply, I said. That's fraud. We killed it. I sent the report to a lawyer friend who fired off a letter, polite enough to be legal, sharp enough to be a knife. Liam texted 10 minutes later. Misunderstanding. I replied. Do not use my name. He wrote. Family doesn't need contracts. I wrote. Apparently we do. That same week, I booked a therapist. Tuesday. 8 a.m. Telehealth, with a woman who had steady eyes. She didn't make faces at the Hawaii part. She just asked, What happens inside you when your phone rings? I said, My jaw locks, my shoulders climb, my stomach crumples like foil. She said, Can we practice letting that pass before you answer? We practiced sentences I hated at first. I'm not discussing money. I can't help with that. I'm ending the call now. I said them out loud to my laptop until they didn't taste like betrayal. Work shifted. I wasn't carrying the quiet fear of the next ask. I finished a design package early. I labeled a panel with my neat block letters and felt a silly wave of pride. I ate lunch outside without my phone in my hand. Sunday, Dad called at 2:07 p.m. I don't want to fight, he said, his voice like gravel. Your mother says to say she's sorry about the store card. I'm sorry too. He said it like he'd swallowed a nail. I believed the part where it hurt him to say. Thank you, I said. We can't do 200. He said. We get it, but we need help, not money. Just sit with us. One call to the mortgage people. I can sit, I said. I won't pay. Okay, he said like the word cut. We sat. I brought a legal pad, drew 3 columns, needs, nice, not now. I put Hawaii under past and drew a line through it, like closing a tab. We called a HUD counselor. We learned hard, boring words, forbearance, repayment plan. We built a budget that didn't include Liam's marketing spend. Liam breezed in late, saying, I found an investor. I wrote Gym Guy next to it, and put it under not now. Mom cried once. Dad rubbed his knee and stared at the TV, sound low. I said no 4 times. It didn't kill anyone. When we finished, I stood. Christopher, Mom said, her voice small. What about, no? I said, gentle. But I'll email the counselor's notes. She nodded, disappointed in the shape of her mouth. I knew that look. It used to hook me. It didn't. On my way out, Liam followed me to the porch. About the bank thing. He mumbled, words too fast. I'm sorry. I accept that you said words, I said. Don't do it again. He frowned. You've changed. I grew up, I said. You should try it. I went home. I took the vacation bag out of my closet, pulled out the sailboat trunks, cut the tag, and packed a duffel. I booked 3 nights at a boring lake an hour away. Off-season rate. No palm trees. I didn't post a photo. I sat on a dock and watched light move on water. I slept 8 hours without dreaming I'd missed a payment. On the last morning, I wrote on the motel pad. This isn't revenge. This is a breaker reset. I underlined it twice. Back home, I taped a copy of my letter inside my desk drawer, not to wave around, but to remind myself on weekdays. The policy still stands. Boundaries are maintenance, not an event. Weeks passed. Mom tried a new script, niceness. I made soup. Want some? I said yes with a rule. No money talk. Dad asked me to look at the porch light. I did. I wanted to. It took 10 minutes and a fresh GFCI. Liam texted links to hoodies I didn't buy. I sent him a radiation of neutral. Looks good. He replied with a thumbs up, like we were networking. The calls slowed. My body learned what quiet feels like. Not empty, just room temperature. I started running 3 mornings a week. Slow. 2 miles. Back before the salon opened. I cooked on Sundays and put leftovers in stacked containers with masking tape labels, because I like knowing. What's inside before I open things. I even let myself want small stuff again. A better coffee grinder. A plant I might keep alive. A weekend class on woodworking. Nothing big. Just life without a constant invoice attached. People always want a twist, right? Did they sell the house? Not yet. Did Liam blow up? He sold 8 hoodies at a pop-up and posted a victory lap. Did my mom apologize? She said, I shouldn't have said some of what I said. That's as close as she gets. And it's fine. I'm not collecting apologies. I'm collecting days that don't ask me for money. I'm not the hero of this. I'm not the villain either. I'm just the guy who finally looked at the panel and labeled the circuits correctly. The living room doesn't run on the bathroom anymore. When somebody flips a switch, you know what goes on and off. That's all I wanted. Predictable light. Bills with my name on them, and nobody else's. And a bag in the closet that says vacation, because I labeled it, not because anyone promised it. 8 weeks since I handed my mother paper instead of money. My phone is quiet in a way that isn't empty. The ledger sits on a shelf. When I peek at it, it steadies me. Sunday calls at 7 o'clock. No money talk. If someone says loan, we hang up. We've done it twice. The 3rd Sunday, nobody even tried. Liam texted. Found an investor. I replied. Great. He added. Not asking you? I sent. Great again. 2 greats felt like a small miracle. Mom stopped sending beach photos. Now it's soup. Bad lighting. Captions like, too much salt. I answer. Looks good. She replies. I know. Small. Safe. Edible. Dad had me relabeled the breaker panel last weekend. Kitchen marked as kitchen. Bedrooms as bedrooms. 2 mystery 15 amps retired. I told him which switch to flip before he touched the porch outlet. He nodded like I'd given him a secret. At the door, Mom said, I'm still mad. I said, I know. I'm still hurt. She looked at my face and said, But you look lighter. Boundaries are cheaper than bailouts. I said. She half smiled. Eat something, always. Here's the moral I'm keeping for myself, taped where I'll see it. I won't buy love with loans. I won't rent my future so other people can feel comfortable today. I won't co-sign denial or pretend Instagram is private when the bill is public. I won't be the family ATM just because I understand interest. I will answer calls about recipes, cats, porch lights, or plans that include effort from everyone. I will keep my tools sharp, my passwords private, my credit frozen, my pantry stocked. I will say no like flipping a clean switch, not like breaking a wire. This isn't about revenge. This is about closure. Closure for me? It's a labeled panel, a steady hum, lights that come on when you want them to, and a bill that finally reads, balance due $0. So I'm curious. Have you ever had to draw a hard line with family, especially when money was involved? What was your moment? What did you do? Tell me in the comments below. I really want to know.